So like what's actually like moving the needle on modern sets, like the value of modern sets, the value of the singles that we're seeing right now, the quick like rise, like right out the gate of all of this, because this is all new to like really the singles in Pokemon. So what is it? Is it the fact that like millennials like me and Kota, you're a millennial, right? Shoot.
I am. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that us that like collected as kids that were like our parents could afford a pack or two at at any given point in time to get us to now being like, okay, that was we're so appreciative of that time, but like, yo, I got a career and now I want to rip packs with my kids, and I can buy a booster box and not worry about it, right?
Mhm.
Or is that mentality doing it, or is it like what? And I don't know if you guys have seen Rudy and Alex's videos, Rudy Alpha Investments again, and Nostalgianomics. I watch both of those guys all the time. I love what they have to say, and just really gets my brain thinking about like what we can talk about on the pod, which is like part of this today. Is that like when they went to card shows, they really saw just a lot of people going around and like, yo, boom, I'm going to drop these slabs on this table. How much can you give me? And then the vendor is like, all right, we'll give you X amount. No, the vendor knowing they can just run over to like the next few tables and then just get, 2.5% to 5% more. And it's just like a constant cycle of doing that at a card show. Is that driving it up? Like, we're posing the question, guys. I want to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. But Kota, what do you think? What do you think is it?
I still think it's neither. It depends on what you're talking about. Are you talking if we're talking about what is driving store shelves to be empty specifically? Like, oh, I can't go to Walmart, I can't go to Target, I can't go to not local game shop, like they whatever,
Yeah,
to get product. Because in that case, sure, it's the hustle culture, because hustle culture in itself is just a make money by any means mentality. It's not necessarily, and I'm not lumping everyone into this, but there is a section of it, and a general undertone of a lot of it that's not necessarily moralistic. It's not ethical. It's pure capitalism, if you will, like where where it's just you have a supply by whatever means you get it, and then you basically get to sell into demand at your choice. So for that, yeah, I'd say it's that. But as far as like, why can you? Because the biggest thing is someone's buying all this product at marked up prices, and that someone, in a lot of cases, especially with booster boxes and stuff, I believe is a lot of big money. That's neither of those things. That's maybe even Gen X money. Gen X, is that like the one before us? What's the one before us?
Maybe,
because we're Gen Z's after us. So I think it's Gen X and then us millennials and then Gen Z, whatever the generation was before us. So like my parents, I think like 70s, born in 70s, maybe late 60s, something like that. I think it's money that's from there. That's pure investment, not for the love of the game money that's coming in. I think, and I'll die on this hill. I think we continue to undervalue how much money is coming in that's never been involved in Pokemon. Not just scalpers, not just the person that has, I got a case of booster boxes, I'm an investor. It's like the money that's like, I'm gonna throw 100K on this and it means nothing. It's okay, yeah, sure, that sounds fine. Grab that. Grab as much as you can of that. Grab this much of that. That's the money I think that's establishing this huge run that we're not getting out of.
I think that's a big part of it. I think there's like the problem really is like when I was looking at it in like a tunnel vision of like the card shows, right? Like I saw it happen when I was at my first card show. Like the vendor next to me like bought something at a percentage, and then I saw a video that he posted on his socials that he ended up getting whatever, like whether he just changed the price on it and brought it over to this guy and whatever and just flipped it. And so that's kind of like where I wanted to go with this. Like, is this more like vendor to vendor? Like, is the actual consumer getting in on any of this? Because I think about it from my rip and ship business perspective, and I'm like, I'm going out to the secondary market and buying a lot of packs. Like I'm not the end consumer, right? Like then that's
Mhm.
going to somebody else. So a lot of the sales that we're seeing on like the eBays and the CCG players, these big sales, like is that actually the end consumer, or is that just like you said, it could be an investor that has the deep pockets that's just throwing the money at it, and it's a sale, and now that sets the new price point essentially for that either slab or case of a booster box, whatever it is, or is it me that's doing the same thing? Like, you know what I mean?
That's a good
I don't
question.
know. I don't know.
That's a good question.
It just becomes like are the end consumers, are the collectors getting phased out because the price points are now being set by people that aren't the end consumer, and then the end consumer is kind of being priced out, you know?
So, hmm. So we define the end consumer as person that is either ripping the packs physically, not someone that's just buying a box. Someone that's ripping the packs physically and or having them ripped for them via rip and ships.
Mm-hmm.
I think a high percentage of ancillary items are making it to them, but like booster boxes and ETBs now. I think I would honestly be surprised if 50% of those were getting ripped. On like we're getting straight to the end consumer from retail. I think there's probably at least 50% more with booster boxes, but with ETBs probably 50% that's either reselling or investing or um some mix of both, buying a case, buying two cases and ripping one and keeping one, but like or ripping one like rip and ship style and keeping one. But I think for like, like the tins and that kind of stuff, I think probably most of that's a lot more of that's going to consumers because people just don't like it's not as easy to hold on to, so they're not going to hold on to it.
Right. Yeah, it's a bigger
Um,
product. Like the booster boxes are more compact. They have more packs. It's more
yeah.
sought after. I also the whole thing where I know these guys were talking about it, both of them, and they were surprised by like they said 12 year olds, and I'm like, anytime you think of a kid, it's always like 12 years old. They're 12,
Yeah.
but
Even
like
like 15, but
they were
like
like 12-year-olds walking around the show with wads of money, like just flipping. And I'm like, my daughter's 11. Like, would she like? I picture her like in a year from now. I'm like, there's no way. But like at that point, if like, cause it is happening. Like when I went to Collecticon, there was a table with a couple of like 18-year-old kids, and look, they're not young, but they're under 20, which is half more than half my age. So I'm like, they are young, and they have their own table at a Collecticon event. There's like three of them. They brought their collection, and they were wheeling and dealing. Like I was just trying to like pick up some like legendary birds, let's say, and like they knew exactly how to like negotiate all this stuff. So this was definitely not their first rodeo. But
mm,
when you get to like a younger age, and this is what I hate. And if anyone's been on my live streams, you probably know it. Like I try to make my kids like they come down here and they know we have packs down here, right? So they're like, "Let me open a pack," and I want to get away from them just thinking they can open up a pack whenever they want. They got to work for it, right? But when they get nothing, they're like, nothing got, and it's just like, I don't want the younger generation to just shift from like, it's worthless if it doesn't have a hit, because like the
mm.
TCG is the TCG because of the cards that really are worthless, right? Like those cards are the ones that people really use when they're playing in the actual games. So I feel like the mindset is also like shifting a bit, and it really comes down to like this gambling culture that the American population is just addicted to. Everywhere we
Oh
look
yeah.
is just gambling. But like at a young age, man, this is like really like almost like a gateway to it, and I just hate if that's happening at a larger scale.
I
Like,
mean, yeah, we're set up in a culture, and I'm how to not get political with this. We're set up in a culture that isn't really and isn't really equal opportunity. It's not really equal opportunity, right? So from a from a macro perspective, we are kind of driven by this gambling mentality because it's like, well, I need that break. Everything's about the break. Like I've been working for years, I need that break. I buy that lottery ticket because I need the break because I've been breaking my back for 20, 30 years doing this job and I'm just trying to find a way out of it. So when something comes up like this, it is that from if you're younger, it's probably more of a mentality of like, oh, I'm going to try to rip this pack and get this $100 card that I can go and buy whatever, or $1,000 card that I can get a new iPhone with, or like a new gaming system or whatever, right? And if you're older, it's like I could really use like $3,000 to help with like bills, or and if you're in that position, you shouldn't be ripping packs to try to do that, right? But there is that mentality. It's like, well, the odds, I know what the odds are, the hit rates in this, ascended this. I found it. I'm just gonna try to rip it. I'm gonna go into ripping ships and do this. I'm gonna whatever. It's like we're culturally driven, and this is specifically speaking to Americans because I don't want to speak for anyone else because I don't know. But for Americans specifically, we're culturally driven by this mentality of you could be the one to get lucky. I mean, the Mega Millions, the Powerball, all this stuff that's existed forever drives you to that. It drives you to this mentality of like a brighter future is just like a roll the dice away from you. And that's kind of where like Pokemon's going into, where it's like, it's not just ripping packs. It's sitting in line at Costco, or not Costco, Costco or wherever, and trying to battle your way together. Because if you can get lucky and find product, you can get lucky and figure out your stalker schedule and then follow them around, that's your break. That's your break, right? Or grading. People send in so much for grading because it's like, well, I'm just going to send as much as I can because I just need a couple of these cards to hit. And if I get that roll of the dice, which it is a roll of the dice at this point, I just have my PSA submission back a month early, which is surprising. But it was awful. They clearly just went through it and just went like bad, just screwed me over completely. It was like worst grades than I've ever gotten before in my life, and it was infuriating. Anyway, but grading is that, investing is that. Like all this investing is gambling. It's gambling educated in a way where you're like, well, statistically, historically, it's already gone up, but like you don't know if something comes out in the owner, like, one of the big wigs in Pokemon, or they start using AI art, or they use some really bad political stuff, or other bad stuff comes from them and it tanks the value, because that kind of stuff can happen. You're all of a sudden out 50, 60, 70% of the money you've invested because you didn't sell now. You just kept saying, I'm going to invest, I'm going to hold, I'm going to hold, I'm going to hold. All of this is driven by this mentality. So it's not surprising that it's getting worse and worse with that. Like, it's not surprising that we're getting to the point where Pokemon ripping is that. It's, nothing. Trash pack. I can't hear you.
Oh, right now?
Okay. I thought I broke something. I was like,
Nope.
Oh no.
Actually, you know what? I coughed earlier. I muted it. Maybe I didn't unmute it.
I didn't hear you cough. So
there we go.
Okay.
No, I was saying,
say anything in that because I wasn't looking.
No, I agree, man. And I just like hate it. I hate the fact that it's like the kids is what is. I'm like seeing it firsthand with my kids, and I'm like, just learn to appreciate other things in this pack. You know what I mean? Like, when we highlight these cards that we're looking at, like, learn to appreciate. I go through and I look at these cards, man. I'm like, these are cool. So that's really it. But like when you think about it, and we say it too, like if you hit a God pack, like Ascended Heroes is a lottery ticket in a sense. If you hit a God pack that has 2 or 3 of those big chases, that's multi-$1,000s right there. So that's kind of like also why people are just also running to a lot of this stuff, which, I don't blame them. Like I'm chasing the God pack too. I mean, I'm looking for a master set. For some reason, I wanted to master set Ascended, and yeah, I need a bunch of the SIR, so that would help. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it goes either way with who's driving this.
Yeah, if you're doing it out of luxury, it's one thing, right? If you're doing it out of like, well, yeah, I'm just gonna throw a couple $100s at this and just see what happens because I was gonna go spend that on a dinner, or I was gonna go spend that on, a night out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, it's the stuff that hurts me is seeing like. There's a guy locally that sells a lot of his hits, and I know the amount of stuff he's ripping is not equaling out to what he's getting because we've got good relationships. I buy a lot from him, and I try to give him a better rate than he's actually asking for because he sells stuff so cheap and he rips so much, and I know he's not like wealthy, right? I know this. Like I'm really nice guy, but I always like talk to him. I'm like, dude, like, how much did you rip to get to this? And he's like, I ripped like 4 ATVs and this and this. I'm like, I mean, hopefully you're finding that MSRP, brother, because
Right. Yeah.
like you're selling this and you're not making money. I know you're not, yeah, it's one of those things that's like, I
No,
really hate the culture that we've built, or not we've built, obviously, not us, but like that has been built around it. To where like, yeah, I get it. Like the dopamine of getting a hit is there. But when it's like, when you're sacrificing to do it, it's so bad. And we're in that with a lot of people, sadly.
No, like last night, someone, I mean, and this is not the first time, but someone came in live stream. We did Phantasmal Flames pack energy breaks, loose packs from the Mega Zygarde boxes. We did a perfect order break. We did a Phantasmal break. And someone was saying, I think they ripped like 600 packs of Phantasmal and they didn't hit any SIRs. So I said,
that can't be right.
Like, that's a lot. Or maybe they didn't hit the Zar or something. They didn't hit any Pokemon SIR. Maybe they didn't hit any Pokemon SIRs. The stat was very interesting, in which I said, if you're going to spend the money already, I said the hack is to just get a booster box case, because at 600 packs, you're at almost 3 cases of booster boxes. Each case has 216 packs in it. 6 boxes at 36 packs per box. So you would have a astronomical increase in the probability of you pulling SIRs, because there's usually 2 to 3 per case. And the fact that these sets are so small, which we're going to get to these new modern chases and the value, but the sets are small, which if we're saying 2 to 3 SIRs per case and there's 5 SIRs, do the math. The probability of the odds of you pulling a Charizard in 3 cases is pretty good. It's one of the 5 SIRs in Phantasmal. I mean, sure, you could get three of the trainer SIRs. You can get the Lopunnies. You can get the Sharpedos, which are really nothing, but you can get multiple Zards. That's probably the life hack. If you're going to spend the money already, that's all I'm saying. If you're going to spend it already, probably get a case. It'll help you out.
Or just buy the card.
At that point. I mean, the Zard, I realize
why people aren't.
How much are the Zards? Are what, like 800
bucks?
Yeah. So again, it's at 600 packs. Even if they were $1, you're at $600.
Yeah,
so
and they're not.
We know they're not. I think they're like $10 now, which is insane. But
even if you're getting an MSRP, you're 600 packs is $3,000.
It's for $3,000. It's like $5. Yeah. So just, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Ripping the card yourself is a feeling that I obviously experience, which I'm so grateful for, because it also helps me be able to keep stuff sealed for my own self. Because then I'm not like, I'm ripping already. I'm getting the dopamine for someone else, which is great.
That's true.
But ripping it is a different experience. But guys, let us know what you think about this. Again, Kota brought the good point about it. It's not just the millennials or the people, the new guys coming in. It is the investors that are also driving these prices up. Do we think the pricing is just really going up because vendors are selling to vendors? Do we think that modern collectors...
There's conspiracy theories about that.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think
modern collectors getting priced out? Yeah. I mean, I think it's part of it. Don't get me wrong. Like, there are vendors that go around. Someone came to my table and was like, how much for all your Ascended stuff? I'm like, bro, we just started. The show didn't even start yet. The VIPs are coming in now. Chill. Like, you know what I mean? So